like, you know, like Harry and
I don't know. It's gonna come out
with a deep
like,
voice.
I guess it's gonna come out looking like Janet Reno. I don't know.
I'm just saying it would really be weird to have a kid. I don't know. It'd be strange, but anyway. But no, I think it's a bad idea personally. So you do too, apparently.
A very bad idea.
Okay, let's talk about this. First of all, we did talk the other week about the fact that Dallas, Texas is going to have its own franchise of the Real Housewives. And we talked about that, and a lot of people in Dallas are very unhappy about it because Dallas sites are bitchy. But anyway, so coming up though, I mean, right now we're going to talk about the fact that we just saw Atlanta Housewives this week, and we're going to review the show. So let's talk about Atlanta Housewives this week. What were your thoughts?
This episode, to me, this episode was more like a filler episode. And when I say filler, it's kind of like it kept us mildly entertained, but there wasn't anything that popped off.
Right.
So, mainly Cynthia and Peter talking about their marriage and how they're going to take it slow. And
but didn't you think the whole thing about? Let's talk about that real quick. The thing about, what did you think about what Cynthia said to Peter? I thought personally that it was right on the money. I thought that she should give him an ultimatum. I thought that she should not take this shit from him. And she was pretty much ready to say bye-bye, in my opinion. But
yeah, that's the vibe that I got as well.
Yeah, and I don't blame her. I mean, I don't blame her. What do you think about the whole situation?
I mean, I don't blame her as well. I mean, you're gone for 10 days. You haven't contacted me. You haven't called. You haven't done anything. I mean, there's no communication.
Not just not contacted her, but didn't respond to her. It's not like she didn't try to contact him. He didn't even respond to her.
Yeah, that's where the problem comes in. It's like,
and they're married. I'm sorry, but no.
I don't know that. I mean, in the show, she did say she was wanting to give it one more chance, but she did say she was like, it feels like the same way it felt before we even got married, where people were not supportive and we were, all going through all kind of financial problems and yada yada yada.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't blame Cynthia. I mean, if I was in a situation like that, I'd be like, this is an ultimatum. Either you need to straighten your shit up or I'm out.
And the thing about marriage is that, because they were saying, well, he was like, well, I don't believe in divorce. And she was like, well, sometimes it doesn't work out. And that's what divorce is for. And I agree with her. I mean, look, I've been married for, 6 years. I guess 6 years now. And I think that I know what marriage is like. And I know that it goes up and it goes down. You have good times, you have bad times, you have hard times, whatever. But I always try to, because my grandmother was this way, and I grew up with her and my mother, and my grandmother was very old school, of course, and she felt like no matter what, you stay with your husband, blah, blah, blah. Well, I feel that I try to work it out as much as possible and do, as long as I've done every single thing I can to make my relationship work, and it's not working, and the other person's not doing their part, then I would leave. But if the both of you are not trying to make it work, it's not going to last. And I think in their situation that he's just not, he doesn't give a shit anymore. I mean, I think he cares to an extent of losing her because maybe of her money, what little she may have left, but I don't think he really cares enough. Like, it's not really about her. I think it's about, himself. But anyway, does that make sense? Am I rambling?
No, it makes sense. It makes sense.
So I just think he needs to, I think that if they want it to work, they're going to have to both work on it. You can't just have one person in the relationship working on a relationship for it to work. It takes both people to want it to. So, and I know that, and I think anybody who's married knows that. So I don't know. Hopefully it works out for them. I don't want to see them divorced just because I like Cynthia, but I don't really like Peter. I've never liked him. So
I haven't either.
I don't care for the man at all. Anyway. Okay, well, that was interesting.
And then also,
yes,
Sheree and Kenya made up after the previous, incident where they were at Cynthia's party or Sunglass launch party, and they had to exchange of words about houses and that type of thing. Here's the one thing that really confused me about that. Now, allegedly, Kenya had never met Sheree. So I'm thinking to myself, but at the party, when they were at Cynthia's party, Kenya just all of a sudden attacked Sheree, and I was like, where's this all coming from? If you claim you don't know this woman, you know what I mean?
Because she's a bitch. That's Kenya. She was just starting.
She was just
shit.
Like, well, people are talking about your house, and,
right.
And Sheree's looking at her like I don't even know you. Like,
I know.
So I thought that was kind of weird that she just attacked her just out the blue like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm sorry, but that has happened to me before. People just attack you out of the blue for no fucking reason. I mean, literally no reason, not being provoked or anything. Some people just are fucking assholes. I mean, seriously. And I honestly think, that whole conversation, that argument that Kenya and Sheree was in was started by Kenya. It was not a Sheree instigation.
No, I agree. I agree.
And I think she was just causing drama and trouble because she wants to be relevant on the show. I mean, that's how she does things. And she stays relevant because she's always a bitch. So, I mean, it makes her have a job security, basically. So anyway.
Right. So now we have to talk about Portia and her man. What's her man's name? I don't even remember his name.
She's not even with him anymore.
So my thing is, I was like, when I was watching the show, I was like, it seems like she's falling for this guy really, really fast.
It was a month or two or something. It was ridiculous.
Have they broken up already?
Yes, they're broken up. Yes.
Well, I mean, I'm not surprised. I knew the shit wasn't gonna last. She was like, "You're my MVP," and I'm looking like, "Bitch, really?"
But his face alone in that show was like, okay, this bitch is crazy. I mean, the way she was acting like they just met like a month and a half or whatever.
He was surprised himself. He was like, "I was not expecting this." So I don't know if that kind of freaked him out.
It freaked me out if I were single, met some guy, and then a month into or whatever, he's introducing me to all his friends and is like, this is my man, this is the one, and I'm like, whatever, bitch, I just met you. I mean, a month is not enough time.
It's not, and it's not. When she first introduced him on the show, I was like, it's not gonna last.
I mean, have you ever been with a guy who was like that? He was like I ever been with a guy who was just like so fast, so quick, so fast to like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I met a guy years ago, and within 3 weeks, he wanted me to go to New Orleans with him. I was like, I do not know you like that, because I was like, first of all, we're in New Orleans. I don't know. I may end up missing you,
chopping you up or something,
chop me up and throw me off in the river down there. I'll be having missing poster signs. I'll be on what's the show?
The one with John Walsh.
There we go.
Oh, First 48, yeah.
Yeah. Well, they've been searching for my ass for 3-4 years. Before no.
Yeah, I think
I appreciate the offer, but I was like, no, I'll stay home.
Well, I was with a guy, this is in my 20s, and I met him, and he and I, we fell hard really fast for each other. And I mean, it was like one of those, this has not happened to me, but maybe once this is probably the only time it happened in my life. But I met this guy, and the moment we saw each other, we literally just like blah, 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 and he was that way towards me. I was that way towards him. And we were just like all about each other, whatever. But then like he kept trying to say, I love you to me, like maybe like 3 weeks in, I was like, don't. And every time he started to say, I love you, I would put my hand over his mouth. I say, do not say that. It's too soon. It's too soon to say
like,
that. It's way too soon for you to say that. I said, I know you like me a lot. I like you a lot, but stop trying to say you love me because you don't know me yet. And the whole relationship, which only lasted for like maybe 3 months, he kept trying to say, I love you. Finally, 3 months in, maybe that's a good time to say it. And by that point I was done. He was done. So we're over.
Here's the $1 million question.
Yeah.
Did he make you a mixtape?
Yes, he did.
Oh my God. I thought you were going to say no.
No, he did. I'm not kidding you.
Oh my God.
Did,
that
yes.
is so
he actually
corny.
he actually not only made me a mixtape, but after we had met the first time, he wrote me this typed long letter. It was typed in like that cursive font though. But anyway, and on the front page he had a poem he'd written for me. And then inside, no, it was lyrics to a song. The song was "Dreaming of the Queen" by Pet Shop Boys, if anybody knows who they are. But anyway, and he had this long letter about how incredible I was and blah blah blah, and how hot I was or whatever at the time, all this kind of stuff, and on about how we were both meant for each other. And he was older than me. I was 20 years old and he was 26, and I was like, I was into the guy. But that was some heavy shit fast. And so I told my mom, she and I were close, and I showed her the letter, and she said, okay, that's really sweet, really nice of him, but she said, you need to be careful about men who come on this strong this soon. That's what she told me. And I was like, oh, shut up, you know what you're talking about. And of course she did. so she was totally right. So anyway, that's what happened with that guy. But he was a nice guy. It's just that he was just way too much, too fast.
No. Hell no.
Yeah, and I mean, and the thing is, I'm a really nice guy. I mean, I think I am. Most people. Although today I was called a dumbass and an asshole by a neighbor.
Why?
Oh my God. See, I have this not a neighbor that lives in my neighborhood, but within the general area. It's a long story. I don't even get into it. But basically, I have the whole neighborhood around me. Half of them hate me, half of them love me because I'm trying to do something good for the neighborhood. And some people are for it, and some people are against it. Anyway, and so they're so against me because the people who are against it that today someone actually called me.
Oh, I remember now. I think you told me.
Yeah,
I think
told
you
you
told
something
us this
about it
off
the
air.
air. Yeah.
Okay.
So she called me a dumbass and she called me an asshole. And I'm like, and it didn't even bother me. It literally didn't bother me at all. And I just was like, I didn't even respond to her. But my point is I forgot my point.
Oh Lord, where's
what were we talking
someone
about?
Please bring in the little whistle that goes.
I forgot the fuck I was talking about.
Yeah.
Anyway, the point is, I know what I was going to say. I'm a nice guy, and if a guy's like that, I kind of feel sorry for him. And most guys are like, "Ooh, you're scaring me. Go away. I'm out." But I was like, I kind of felt sorry for someone who was that invested in someone they'd met just very recently. I felt like, well, he must have a really deep hole, void inside him that he needs love so badly. And so I was just real nice.
I thought that sentence was going to go left field when you said he had a deep hole. I was just like,
well, he had that
God.
too, and I filled it. But anyway, let's go on. But I'm just saying I felt sorry for him, and so I just that's my point. Is I wasn't too nice. I was too nice. You probably would have been like, "Bitch, bye," but I was too nice. So that's just me.
I'm still just that. When you said he had a deep hole, I was just like.
Well, one thing is, I'm not going to go there. Never mind. Okay. Anyway, so by the way, do you like Adele? Do you like Adele?
I love Adele.
I love her too. I'm in love with her, and she her new album just came out. It was released this week, and I got it, and of course, and I love it. But she was on if you go online, it's all over the internet where she did an impersonation of an impersonator of Adele. So she played. She was made up to look like someone else impersonating Adele, and so she goes into this. It's like a show for Graham Norton in the BBC in England or whatever. Anyway. And all these girls are there. These Adele impersonators are there. And she's there, too. And they don't know it's her because she has a prosthetic nose on and chin and hair and everything. And and they're like talking about her or whatever. Anyway, and she goes up there and she sings on stage. And they're like, oh, my God, it's really Adele. But you have to watch it because it's really good. But anyway, my point is that she is an awesome singer. I love her to death. She's one of the few artists these days who can really sing. You know what I mean? There's so many that just use auto-tune and shit like that. But did you see J-Lo, by the way, at the AMAs?
No, I didn't watch it. From what I was told, the AMAs were whack.
They were,
as they put it.
All I did was watch the opening. That's all.
Yeah, I didn't watch any of it. I didn't have any interest in watching it.
Well, Nicki Minaj was apparently offended that she was doing Anaconda, but it was part of a medley. It was part of like all the.
But here's my thing though. How are you going to get upset with J-Lo?
Right.
Over a song that you remade. It's not even your song. Girl, bitch, get the fuck out of here. It's not even your... Sir Mix-a-Lot was the original.
Yes.
Like, I can see if he was offended.
Right.
How are you offended? You girl.
It wasn't even your song to begin with. I know.
It's not... But Nikki, it's not even your song. You just remade it.
But she wasn't even like... trying to pretend to be her or anything. She was doing a dance. Like what she did is a big long medley of all the hottest songs of 2015, and that was one of the songs. And when she did it on, her face was all like sourpuss face, in the audience.
But you know what? Nick, for the past few award shows,
she's had issues.
She's always had some type of run-in with someone. Like when she was at the VMAs, it was Miley Cyrus. When she was at the other place, she had issues with someone. I don't even know.
Wasn't it Taylor Swift or something? I don't know. Anyway.
I don't think it was Taylor Swift. It was someone. I can't remember. And then now she's having issues with J-Lo. It's like, girl, sit your ass down. Like, it's not even your song. You sampled a song from someone else. girl, please. I do not have time for you. I do not have time for you. Next, let's move on.
Well, I mean, I think once you get to a certain level of fame and fortune and all those things, and I think a lot of times people start to believe their own press, as they say, and I think she's getting a big head. And no matter what somebody does, it's like she's always slighted by them. No matter what they do, it's like somehow it's a slight towards her personally. Not everything's about you, Nikki. Not everything's about you. I'm sorry, but she seems like
that.
she thinks it is. But anyway, so.